70% of the Earth is covered by water. And on this planet, there is only one true ruler of that domain, the United States Navy. While other nations like China and Russia scramble to build ships and issue threats, the reality of naval warfare is dictated by physics, engineering, and logistics. In these three categories, the United States does not just lead. It stands alone. Today on US Frontline, we are going to dissect the machine that guarantees global freedom. We will look beyond the propaganda and dive into the cold, hard facts of American naval supremacy. From the nuclear reactors of supercarriers to the silent killers in the deep ocean, here is why no one can beat the US Navy. Part 1. The supercarriers, the floating cities. The most obvious symbol of American power is the aircraft carrier. But calling a US carrier just a ship is an insult. It is a floating city and a mobile airbase of sovereign American territory. The US Navy operates 11 nuclear-powered supercarriers. To put this in perspective, the rest of the world combined has nothing that compares. China's new Fujian carrier uses electromagnetic catapults, trying to copy American tech, but it lacks the most critical component, nuclear propulsion. The US Nimitz and Ford-class carriers are powered by massive nuclear reactors. This gives them unlimited range. They can steam at 30 knots for 20 years without ever stopping for fuel. They only stop to load food for the 5,000 sailors on board. The new Gerald R. Ford class is a technological marvel. It generates 3 times the electrical power of the Nimitz class. Designed to support future directed energy weapons like lasers, its electromagnetic aircraft launch system allows it to launch aircraft faster and more gently than steam catapults, increasing the sortie generation rate by 30%. In a war, the side that puts more bombs on target faster wins, and the Ford class is the undisputed heavyweight champion of this metric. Part 2. The Airwing. Dominance in the sky. A carrier is only as good as the aircraft it carries. While Russia flies outdated Cold War jets and China struggles to develop reliable jet engines, the US Navy has moved to the next generation. The F-35C Lightning II is the world's only stealth strike fighter, designed for carrier operations. It is not just a plane. It is a sensor fusion node. It gathers data from space, land, and sea, creating a God's eye view of the battlefield. It can destroy enemy air defenses before the enemy radar even knows it is there. But the Airwing is a team effort. The F/A-18 Super Hornet acts as the heavy hitter, carrying a massive payload of ordnance. The E-2D Advanced Hawkeye acts as the flying command center, detecting cruise missiles and stealth fighters from hundreds of miles away. And looking to the future, the US is integrating the MQ-25 Stingray. This unmanned aerial tanker will extend the strike range of American fighters, allowing the carrier to stay safely out of range of enemy missiles, while delivering punishment deep into enemy territory. Part 3. The Shield. Aegis and destroyers. Offense wins battles, but defense wins wars. The US Navy's surface fleet is built around one concept: impenetrable defense. The Arleigh Burke-class destroyers and Ticonderoga-class cruisers are equipped with the Aegis combat system. This is the most advanced naval radar and weapon control system in history. It connects the sensors of every ship in the fleet, creating a distributed defensive network. If one ship sees a target, every ship can shoot at it. These ships are armed with the vertical launching system. A single destroyer carries roughly 96 missile cells. They are loaded with Standard Missile 3 interceptors that can knock down ballistic missiles in space, and Standard Missile 6 that can target ships and aircraft over the horizon. Recently, in the Red Sea, US destroyers proved their worth by intercepting dozens of drones and anti-ship missiles fired by hostile forces, scoring a perfect interception record. While other navies talk about their capabilities, the US Navy proves them in combat. Part 4. The Silent Service. Submarine superiority. If you want to know what keeps America's enemies awake at night, look under the water. The US submarine force is the ultimate predator. Unlike other nations that operate a mix of loud diesel, submarines, and nuclear ones, every single US submarine is nuclear-powered. This means they are faster, can dive deeper, and stay submerged indefinitely. The Virginia-class attack submarines are designed to dominate both the open ocean and shallow coastal waters. They carry heavy torpedoes and Tomahawk land attack missiles. But the crown jewel is the Ohio-class ballistic missile submarine. We call them boomers. These ships are the most destructive machines ever built by man. A single Ohio-class sub carries up to 20 Trident II D5 missiles. Each missile splits into multiple nuclear warheads. One submarine carries enough firepower to flatten an entire continent. They patrol in total silence, undetectable by enemy sonar. They ensure that no matter what happens, the United States always has the final word. In the underwater game of hide-and-seek, the U.S. Navy is the one seeking, and our enemies are the ones dying. Part 5. The Gator Navy. Expeditionary power. Most people forget that the U.S. essentially has two navies. The second one is the Amphibious Ready Group, often called the Gator Navy. Ships like the USS America and USS Wasp are technically amphibious, assault ships designed to carry Marines, but at 45,000 tons. They are larger than the aircraft carriers of France, India, or Japan. They carry F-35B vertical takeoff fighters and Osprey tiltrotors. Their mission is to deliver the United States Marine Corps to any beach in the world within hours. This gives the U.S. President a unique option to project ground power without needing permission to use a friendly country's ports or airfields. No other nation possesses this level of expeditionary capability. While China builds artificial islands to project power, the U.S. Navy brings its own islands. Part 6. Logistics. The true superpower. Amateurs talk about tactics. Professionals talk about logistics. This is the boring secret behind American supremacy. A warship without fuel and ammo is just a floating target. The U.S. Navy's Military Sealift Command operates a massive armada of supply ships that can replenish the combat fleet at sea. The U.S. Navy performs underway replenishment daily. 2 ships steaming side by side at 20 knots, transferring thousands of gallons of jet fuel and pallets of bombs via cables. This capability allows U.S. carrier groups to stay on station for months without ever entering a port. China's Navy is largely a green water navy. It relies on shore-based support. Once they venture into the deep Pacific, their supply lines become vulnerable. The U.S. Navy, on the other hand, has a global network of logistics hubs in Japan, Bahrain, Spain, and Diego Garcia. The sun literally never sets on the U.S. Navy's logistical network. We can fight anywhere, anytime, for as long as it takes. Part 7. The human element. Tradition and training. Finally, we must discuss the software that runs this hardware. The sailors. You can steal blueprints. You can hack servers, but you cannot steal 100 years of institutional knowledge. The U.S. Navy has been mastering carrier aviation since the 1920s. We fought and won the greatest naval battles in history. We learned lessons in blood during World War II that other nations are only reading about in textbooks. Damage control is a religion in the U.S. Navy. Every sailor is a firefighter. When the USS Samuel B. Roberts struck a mine or the USS Cole was bombed, they did not sink because the crews saved them. Compare this to the Russian flagship Moskva, which sank after a missile strike due to poor training and maintenance. Furthermore, U.S. pilots fly more hours and train in more realistic environments, like the famous Top Gun school, than any of their adversaries. A weapon system is only as effective as the warrior operating it. And American sailors are the most highly trained and battle-tested professionals on the ocean. Conclusion: the guardian of the world. The world is a chaotic and dangerous place. But for the last century, the gray hulls of U.S. warships have stood between civilization and chaos. The United States Navy does not just protect America. It protects the global economy. It keeps the shipping lanes open so that trade can flow freely. Some critics point to the number of ships China is building and claim the U.S. is in decline. But they are counting hulls, not capability. When you integrate the satellites, the nuclear submarines, the stealth fighters, and the Aegis destroyers, you see a system of systems that is currently unbreakable. The U.S. Navy remains the only force capable of fighting 2 major wars in 2 different oceans at the same time and winning both. The Trident of Neptune is firmly in American hands. And looking at the technology and the sailors, it is going to stay that way. If you are proud of this strength, make sure to like and subscribe to U.S. Frontline. Stay strong, stay free. See you in the next video.